Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our guest is Wandia Gishoro of Vivo Activewear. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
It's really an honor to have you here, Wandia.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
4.5 years ago, you started your journey with Vivo Activewear. Tell us what sparked the idea of Vivo Activewear.
Prior to that, I'd been employed for many years, and I really wanted to do something independent. So I wanted more freedom, I wanted more time, more control over my life. So a close friend of mine and I were in the same sort of situation, but we were both very excited about dance and fitness in particular. So initially we thought that we would import dance and fitness products, accessories, clothing and whatever, and sell them because we felt there was a gap in the market. And then we thought, oh, we can just sell it online, people will order through the internet. But as we started testing the market, we realized that that was quite difficult, that a lot of people want to see what they're buying, they want to try it on, they want to feel it, whatever. So then we realized quite quickly that if we wanted to reach a large number of people, we would actually need to have a shop. So that's how the idea of opening a store came about. We opened the first store at the Junction in May 2011. But we also knew, because mall rents are high, that we might not get enough sales simply from the specialized dance and fitness. So then we decided that we'd introduce a clothing line to complement the other products. So at least that way, even if you're not a dancer or you don't go to the gym, when you walk in, you'd find something that you like.
Do you still maintain the dancing?
The dance line that we carry is almost entirely focused on children and almost entirely on ballet. And the girls love it, they like to put on those little pink
yeah, they look cute. I've
pretty
seen them.
things. They feel like a fairy princess.
Yeah.
And so that we actually do find quite a lot of demand for. And we try and carry a nice range of different styles. But so that the dancewear has really become quite narrow, because in the beginning we were bringing tap dance shoes, jazz sneakers, hip hop, whatever. But we found we would have to, because we were buying it wholesale, we'd have to buy in bulk, and then we just couldn't move the product quickly enough.
Wandia, who do you target with your clothes? Because you have a particular style and design.
We definitely target professional women. They don't necessarily need to be young, but you sort of need to be young at heart, enjoy sort of color and, looking a little bit, sexy and attractive and whatever. So we find that most of our clientele are Kenyans between the ages of about the mid-20s to the late 40s, early 50s. Because the clothing is relatively simple, you can dress it very differently. So even you might find a 25-year-old wearing something and a 50-year-old wearing the same thing, but you wouldn't even recognize it because of the way they'll style it, what they'll choose to wear it with. So actually our market base is quite broad. And
then of course your material is different.
I would say the bulk of our clothing is made out of stretchy fabric, because again we all have such different shapes and sizes. When you have a stretchy fabric, it will move to the shape of the person wearing it. So we find that works easily for a wider range of people.
Why did you just really target the woman and not include the man?
Initially, we just felt, let's just grow the market that we started off with, the dance, the ballet, the jazz, the yoga, and then offer those kind of people clothing. So as we've concentrated more and more now on clothing, and the type of clothing that we make, typically men don't wear that sort of fabric. So as we experiment with new fabrics, I think we might grow into a limited menswear.
Why did you call your shop Vivo? Where did the word Vivo come from?
So when we started the business, we were trying to come up with a name, and we had a number of different names that we were considering. And at that time, I read an article. Actually, it was one article I found on the internet, and it was about how do you select a name for your business. And one of the things it said is, try and find a name that's very simple, easy to pronounce, with any language, and preferably a name that not everyone will assign a meaning to it. So, but we also wanted the name to have a meaning, even though that meaning might not be known by everybody. So we found the word Vivo, which actually is an Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese word that means alive.
What about the locations? You have grown within the years.
Yeah.
Tell us the different locations where we can find Vivo Activewear.
At the moment, we're in 7 different locations. In Nairobi, we're at the Junction, we're at Yaya, we're at Galleria, New Muthaiga, which is on Thigiri Ridge Road. We're in Garden City, and we're also in Magharibi Place, which is just opposite T-Mall in Nairobi West. And then we also have a store in Mombasa at City Mall.
We'll talk more about the different locations you're at and, of course, the decisions that you must take, really, when you have to expand. And, of course, we want to know who's the we you keep mentioning, apart from when you sat there telling us about the we. But we'll talk about this after this break.
Okay. Thank you.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. More of Wandia's story after the break.
We always fight for what we believe in. We fought to earn our freedom. We won the right to choose for ourselves and the chance to control our own destiny. We deserve even more freedom, choice, and control to manage our businesses, our money, and our lives with ease. To plan, save, and get loans for the goals and dreams we have, and stay in touch with those we love and those we relate with. Welcome to Equitel, where money transfer is free. A mobile banking offering where you save, get loans, transfer money, and pay bills. Making life easier. My phone, my bank. Karibu member. Pick your Equitel SIM card today at any Equity branch. To become a member, dial *247# and open an Equity account instantly. Hapo Hapo. Equitel. My money, my phone, my life.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, we are honored to have Wandia Gishoro of Vivo Activewear. Before the break, we were talking about the we. Who is the we you keep mentioning?
So I'm a co-founder of the business, and my partner that we started together with is Anne-Marie Burugu, who's a friend. She's very fit. I mean, she's a Pilates instructor, she is a personal trainer, certified, she works out a lot, and she also loves to dance. So she was really my inspiration as well, because she got me a lot more.
Partnership is not always easy, so what roles have you guys assigned yourselves?
Soon after we started, within the first year, she took over her family business, which was a very big business, very demanding. So she stopped having any executive role. So she's currently a director and a shareholder, and she's also the chairman. We have a small board, so she's the chairman of the board. So she really is involved at a very high strategic level. But as the MD, I'm involved in the day-to-day running of the business.
Did you consider the risks of entering into this business, especially the clothing business, when there are other exhibitions? There's a Mitumba. Did you ever consider that?
I mean, there's going to be risks in any new venture, any new business. So obviously we looked at those risks, and those remain our key competitors. I mean, that's the reality. I think a lot of people, if you look at the broad, population of Kenyans, do shop for clothing at Mitumba markets and exhibitions. But the market is also segmented. So what I found is that there are a lot of Kenyans who have been slightly nervous to go to malls. They have the impression that malls are very expensive, they're not going to be able to afford, and so they go to those exhibition halls. Yet what I found interesting when I was doing market research and I visited, I went up and down Moi Avenue, Tomboya Street, whatever, those exhibition hall prices are not cheaper than what we sell. In fact, in some cases, they're even more expensive.
For anybody who has never stepped into a Vivo shop, what would you say are your price ranges?
It depends. I mean, like a full dress might be 3,000 to 4,000. A skirt could be from 2,500 to 3,500. So it really depends. And we also have sales occasionally. We have an outlet store, which I didn't count as one of the 7 because it's not a full retail store, but it's where we sell a lot of our discounted items. So in that store, you can get things for 1,000 shillings, 1,200, yeah.
What informed the decision to start a workshop?
When we first started, we were importing everything. And on the clothing side, we were importing mostly from Asia. And we were going to the wholesale market because our numbers were small. You know, if you have 1 or 2 retail stores, you can't carry too many of the same item. So when we'd bring stuff back, we realized, number one, our stuff wasn't completely unique because there were other people going to the same wholesale market and also bringing stuff. Number two, we couldn't control the quality. So sometimes we buy stuff, bring it back, and then realize that the quality wasn't quite what we had hoped for. And number three, we were limited in our sizes. So at that point, we knew we needed to find a different way of sourcing our product, but I didn't know what to do. And actually, it was a very good friend of mine who has a background in fashion and clothing. And we traveled together to Asia. And on that trip, she was buying fabrics. I was buying clothes, ready-made clothes. And she said, why don't you buy fabrics and make in Kenya? And I was like, but I know nothing. So it was actually a very close friend of mine, Sally Karago, who's one of Kenya's most celebrated designers and runs Kenya's top fashion design school, Mackensal. And she really was the person who encouraged me. She said, you know, it's not that difficult. Buy fabrics, come with me to the fabric market, we'll figure it out. And so that's how it started.
Wendy, what would you consider as the key attributes that have contributed to your success?
I think the fact that we started producing locally, so there's more and more of an excitement around made in Kenya. And so as we've moved to making more of our products here, I think people also feel quite proud that it's a Kenyan brand, you know, whatever. So I think that has helped. I think the pricing being relatively affordable and simple has also helped, so people know what to expect. We have quite a good sales team, so they work really hard to try and work with every client who comes in. They give them personal attention, try and find what it is they're looking for, and try and meet their needs. I think that has helped as well.
Wendy, how many people do you work with?
Currently, I think we're just about 40 people. Less than half are the sales team, so they obviously are based in the different stores. And then we have a back office team, so the management, the admin staff, people who manage inventory, who do marketing, all of that. And then we also have the production side. So the production team is about 11 or 12 people. So those are the actual tailors, they're the people who make the samples, they're the people who cut the fabrics, the people who design the patterns and do all the grading. And then we have a supervisor, floor supervisor, and assistant cutter as well.
Are there any strategies that you put in place when it comes to hiring staff?
The sales team, we always try to hire people who had done sales before, because I think sales is quite a specific skill set. You know, you need to have the right enthusiasm, the right energy, you're on your feet half the day. So we really try to look for experienced people. Even before we hire anyone, they have to come and at least spend a few days on the floor. Because another thing is people can interview very well.
It's true.
But then when you see them on the job, it's a different story.
If you were to do this again, Wendy, from the very beginning, what would you do differently?
I think I would have tried to get more expert advice.
Biggest challenges that you have faced?
In our second year, we had a major theft within the company. Some of our sales staff who were slowly stealing. And by the time we caught it, a number of months had passed. So actually the amount had accumulated to quite a significant. But it was also a very, very good learning opportunity, because we realized how weak our systems were, how we weren't really paying attention to every day, seeing where the money was going, whether all of it was being banked or not. So it forced us to relook at a lot of things. And I think when we now have much better systems because of that experience. Other challenges, like within the wider economy, I mean, we definitely felt the effects, for example, after Westgate. And even now, I mean, all it takes is people getting a text message saying, terror threat, stay away from Junction, don't go near Yaya. And you see numbers dropping.
How do you deal with those kind of like external issues?
Yeah, I think you just constantly are trying to stay aware of what's going on. When you know that, for example, it's a weather issue, then we really push online sales. We can deliver. Don't worry, you don't need to get wet. We can come to you. When it's an issue to do with people's, feeling a bit tighter on their budget, that's a time when maybe you can push promotions, you can offer discounts. So you have to just always be judging the situation and trying to see what's the best way to respond.
And 5 years from now?
I would love to open something in Kisumu, in Nakuru, possibly in Nanyuki or Eldoret. And I'd like to go outside of Kenya as well. I mean, our clothing is very appealing to modern African women.
Wendia, what advice would you give any woman who wants to get into business?
First of all, don't be intimidated by the fact that you're a woman. I don't think there's specific advice that should be for a woman and not for a man. Business is business. You're going to be out there competing against all genders, all ages, all races. So, any of those fears, I think you need to put those behind, number one. If you're somebody who's been wanting to start a business and you keep thinking about it, and you keep talking about it, and you keep writing little notes in your diary about your ideas, but you never start, it becomes more and more scary. Just start wherever you are, in whatever capacity.
Thank you so much, Wendia. It was really inspiring talking to you, just hearing your story and what you're doing, not only for the Kenyan woman, but what you aspire to do for the African woman. Thank you so much for your story. Really enjoyed this.
Thanks a lot.